guys, and welcome to Scottish and Scared. I am host 1 of 2, Stefanie.
And I'm host 2, Shannon of 2.
Yes. And we are here because we are going to tell you guys some scary stories. Before we get into serious, I think it's best if we give you guys a bit of background on us, why we have chosen to do this podcast, and what really inspired us to base it on scary stories, myths, folklore, anything creepy, anything weird. And that kind of stems from our childhood.
So when we were younger, our Uncle Tommy, so big shout out to you, you petrified the living daylights out of us since I was maybe 4 years old with a werewolf mask and gloves.
Yep. Right, okay, basically, when we were younger, we are actually cousins, but we are more like sisters. We used to stay at our aunt and uncle's, our great aunt and uncle's, every weekend, every Saturday.
Religiously.
Yep. And our Uncle Tommy took pleasure in scaring the absolute shit out of us every single Saturday, mainly using a rubber latex werewolf mask that had like hair coming out the top of it.
Mufasa.
Yeah,
but scary.
Really, it was really scary. That mask has since been retired to me. He used to put this mask on and he would prank us, he would chase us. One story in particular that I would like to share because it is the most dedicated prank I have ever seen. We were at our auntie's house. We were all bathed, showered, ready for bed, and our Uncle Tom was fast asleep, or so we thought, on the armchair in the living room. He was snoring away, and we were all upstairs brushing our hair, doing what girls do. And our Auntie Betty told us, oh, let's go out to the shed and get all the sleeping bags in so we can all settle down and go to bed.
What a lie.
Well, I don't actually think that Auntie Betty was in on it. I think...
To be fair, if she did, she was a very good fucking actress, I'm telling you.
So, we went out into the garden, up to the shed, and at their shed there's like iron gates that are like, you can see through the iron gates into the car park. And our Uncle Tom had waited until we were outside
in the shed.
He got up from the seat, put the mask on, went out the front entrance of the house, went all the way around the cul-de-sac to the back of the car park and the iron gates are, and jumped out, gave a big growl, scared us all. Shannon ran in terror.
Tried to open the door and it was locked. He actually locked it for the back door so we couldn't get back in. I turned around thinking all of them are behind me. Nah, I'm the only one up the stairs and they're all froze.
So it was me, my sister, and my Auntie Betty and Shannon. And Shannon obviously is the only member of the family who in a fight or flight response.
Well, flight.
The rest of us just fight. We stood and we were like, right, assess the situation. But bear in mind we were like, we were like 12.
Yeah,
no, younger than that.
Well, you're 2 years older than me, so I must have been 10, 9. It must have been, we were young, really young. I think it was about 9 or 10.
We would have been like 9 or 10, but nevertheless, still terrifying. Yeah, that was is the only thing that sticks out in my mind that our Uncle Tom did, and it scarred us for life. It's actually to the point now where I actually got a tattoo of a wolf on my leg, and everyone says it looks like the werewolf from American Werewolf in London.
And that was one of the films we used to always watch every Sunday.
I was obviously secretly inspired by these werewolf pranks that were played on us as a child. It wasn't just werewolves, like he would scare us and he would
crawl up the bed when we'd be lying in bed with a mask on and like growl when he was crawling in the door up the stairs, and our auntie had like mirrors in front of our bed, so when you'd look up you would just see this werewolf mask and gloves coming up the bed, but it was his body, but I don't know why we were all still shit scared, couldn't deal with it.
No, but that's basically like the first thing that kind of got us into like anything kind of horror-y or creepy or spooky. Like, we love Halloween, like obviously that's pure cliche, but we love Halloween, we love anything horror movies, the whole 9 yards.
And it's just coincidence we're both October babies.
Yeah, we're both October babies. I'm 25th, so I'm 5 days from Halloween, so every year I have a Halloween party for my birthday. The thing about this is, it's like when we were kids as well, what we used to do is we used to tell each other scary stories
and see who could scare each other the most.
Aye, but I think all kids kind of do that, like scary movies, like ghost tales, like stuff like that. So we used to do that when we were younger, but what used to happen is I used to be the storyteller because I was the oldest. And I would scare the living shit out of my younger sibling and cousins, etc. And it's kind of something that's just carried on into our adult life. So, like, I'll
and we'll probably carry on to, like, children,
exactly.
everything.
Like, I'll FaceTime Shannon and I'll say, oh, have you heard about this? And she'll be like, no. And then I'll tell her this big, elaborate story, and then she'll be creeped out. And it kind of goes from there. So it's something that we've inherited from our uncle, and that we now do in our everyday lives, because we play pranks, we get scared, we do all that stuff. So that's kind of why we wanted to do this podcast, because we sit and talk about all these things all the fucking time, and we thought there's so many other people out there who love hearing things about monsters and cryptids and, you know, conspiracies and stuff. So we thought, what better way to share this with people than to record it and stick it out there for people to hear.
For all us Scottish and scared folk out there.
Yeah. And we do want to apologise in advance, because we are very annoying. We do laugh a lot. And yes, we are Scottish, so our accents, some people might not be able to understand our accents. For the people who know us, you will probably hear that we are putting on a very severe phone voice.
Welcome to telephone.
Yep, which we are probably going to be absolutely slaughtered for.
Yep.
If you can't understand us, I'm really sorry. You will need to get a translator.
Or put the video in slow motion so you can actually understand.
Yeah, so before we get into the nitty gritty of this episode, we kind of just wanted to have a wee bit of a chat and things that we were just like talking about before we started recording, because we were literally just about to record and Shannon so kindly told me about our great First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, and what she had to say about, I don't actually know because I've never seen it. What was it she was talking about?
So on Twitter, I didn't actually read what it was, but it's just
You need to stop moving in that chair.
a trend on Twitter for hashtag keep the heat, and I swear it had me buckled all night last night. I sent to my friends, sent to my dad, sent to my mum, sent to my gran, sent to everybody. Hashtag keep the heat.
For those of you who aren't Scottish, keep the heat is basically a Scottish way of saying calm down or like chill out or whatever. But what was she actually talking about? I'm assuming.
I think it was about coronavirus.
I'm assuming
really.
it's the virus.
Yeah,
right.
And about faith, like, because we're doing so well and there's not been so many deaths in the past couple of days. She was like, just hashtag keep the heat, basically.
So she told us to keep the heat, which, okay. Maybe don't say that if you're like the leader of a country or whatever.
No.
I'm sorry if you can hear the gurgling noises. It's like every time I take a drink of my smoothie, it's... Another fun fact for you, Shannon's currently sitting here with a corona.
Well, the coronavirus is out there going to get us.
And I'm sitting here with a green smoothie. Because I don't drink.
You can tell who's the alcoholic in the family.
I don't drink. So.
Cut that.
And yeah, we were just laughing there about, well, she's not exactly the only leader if it says things that they should not say, but we're not going to get into that because we're not going to talk about politics on here.
No, definitely not.
But keep the heat. That is truly funny. So, there's that gurgling again.
You have gas.
It's just like coming up my throat.
And I have the most annoying laugh ever. I do apologise.
We were also just discussing in great detail that Shannon is extremely disturbed that her star sign has been changed. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think it was a couple of years ago. They kind of changed all the star signs, so it was like a month behind her or whatever it was. Shannon's just been clued in on this.
I'm raging.
And realised that she's not a
Libra.
She's actually
a Virgo. And that's why I think I'm having this out-of-body experience that the Libra's leaving me and the Virgo's actually entering, because cut that shit out.
No, Shannon thinks she's going through some sort of spiritual awakening at this moment in time. Which,
Get the sage it.
Get the sage? Oh God, you've been hanging about with my mum too long. So that's basically all we have to say. We've not really had anything interesting happen in the past couple of weeks. We're kind of coming to the end of lockdown now. Pubs are starting to open.
Hairdressers are open.
Hairdressers are opening. So we're kind of just, both of us are working from home right now, so we don't really have anything interesting to say.
Sunbed's reopened, and I thought I would be the clever idiot who would go for 12 minutes after not being from for 5 months.
Idiot.
And then go for another 12 minutes.
For those of you who are not Scottish and don't know what a sunbed is, it is a tanning bed that you go and you lie on and it fries your skin.
But yeah, I've now got 3rd-degree burns and I look like a lobster, so yeah.
Yep. You look like one of those pink shrimp sweets.
I look like a squashy.
You look like, you know how you get those foamy sweets? It's like bananas and shrimps.
Ew.
You look like one of those shrimps, that's what you look like.
So I look like a shrimp.
Pretty much, eh? Pretty much.
It's a bit harsh.
But without further ado, I will be
go.
letting Shannon know. Okay, here's another thing. Shannon does know what we are going to be talking about here. As I said earlier, I was kind of the storyteller growing up, so I've kind of taken on that role
Again.
within the podcast where I will be taking on all the hard work and researching these subjects very thoroughly.
And I'll be sitting getting pissed, answering back.
And putting together all the research, all the stories. But Shannon does know what some of these are going to be because she has suggested some that she wants to know a little bit more about.
Yep.
But there are some that Shannon is not going to know about that I'm going to surprise her with. I'd also like to mention that not all of the episodes are going to be based here in Scotland. We are going to branch out and do other things. There are so many things that I want to talk about on here, but we thought for the first couple of episodes we would keep it here in Scotland because, you know, our namesake is Scottish and Scared, so we thought we would pay homage to our home country of Scotland.
Oh, flower of Scotland.
Oh God.
No.
This is going awry already.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, today we are going to be talking about Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster is one of those things that's like, if you're talking about Scottish like mythology or cryptids, the Loch Ness Monster is going to be on there. It's one of those things, and I personally think it's extremely gimmicky and cliche, and like, you know how you see those, actually when both our dads, they work in like different parts of the country sometimes, and I remember when I was really young, my dad was working at Loch Ness, and he brought me back one of those, you know how those teddies that you get, like, you know how when you walk by one of those Scottish merchandise shops, like touristy shops,
thing.
and it's got like those really big Highland cows and stuff. I mean, I love Highland cows, and they always have those Loch Ness Monster teddy bears.
Mm-hmm.
He brought me back one of those fucking green Loch Ness Monster things, and it had like a tartan bonnet on. You know those ones that are red tartan and they've got the ginger hair that comes out from underneath them? One of those. Very gimmicky.
Yeah.
Very cheesy. But I loved it because, you know, whatever.
You're a child.
Yep. Also, I don't understand. Right, I do apologise because we're going to venture off of the subject quite a lot because that's what we do. But why do people associate Scottish people with ginger hair?
Not all of us are ginger.
No, not all of us. I honestly think I maybe know like 2 gingers.
Aye.
In my
There are
entire
not
life.
that many that I know or see.
So, but why is it so? There must be a reason. I bet you there's like a cartoon or a comic book or something. I don't know. But it's just weird. It's like, why? I would associate the Irish more with ginger hair.
Aye, actually.
But saying that, we get...
I means yes, by the way, for people who do not know what that means, I can't keep continuing to say yeah because I will forget.
You just need to bear with us here, people. Well, saying that though, that see when you go on a holiday, like a few times when I've been in America, I have been asked if I'm Irish. So they do get us like mixed up quite a lot.
Because we speak so fast, but they speak 10 times faster.
Oh, aye. Like, I can't understand Irish, and we actually have Irish family that I have no fucking clue what they are saying. I have to ask my dad. I don't get, or I just sit in silence and then I just go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that guy for Brave. Right, okay, we're getting off the subject too much. Right, Loch Ness Monster.
I'm going to start talking about Disney in a minute.
Let me take I'm just going to take a wee sip of my smoothie. I do apologise if you are. There we go. So, let's start off by talking about the loch itself, which obviously is a very big character in this story.
Yep.
If you're not Scottish, a loch is the Gaelic word for lake, so it's just a lake, it's just a large body of water. The loch is nestled up north in the Scottish Highlands, and it is the largest body of fresh water in Britain.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
There's that. It contains more fresh water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined, covering 700 square miles and reaching depths of 778 feet.
Can you drink Scottish water? Like, obviously, if you were out, that sounds pure stupid.
I mean, you probably shouldn't. What?
Could you?
Well,
I was cleaner.
So here in Scotland, we have what we call council juice. And it's basically, we actually can drink our water straight from the tap. It's fresh and it's clean. We don't have to like filter it or anything like that. It's filtered before it goes to the tap.
So that's council juice.
Look, my dad always tells me, do not drink from the tap in the bathroom because it's...
That one's different. I've always been told that as well.
Yeah, it runs from a different pipe. I don't know, some bullshit like that. I have no idea. Anyway, the water in the loch also contains heavy deposits of peat, which makes the water extremely murky. So visibility in the lake. Visibility in the loch is not the greatest. It's, if you've ever seen like underwater cameras in the loch, it's like the water's really dark.
Musty and dusty.
Musty and dusty. You've just described water as dusty.
But underneath it can be dusty. Like, you know what I mean? No dusty, but see when it, like all this dark combined together and it's that pure swirl underneath water.
Wow. Yeah, totally.
The what?
But see underneath, it's like it's brown. It's like really brown, and it's like, as you just said, it's like murky, and it's like there's peat floating around in it, and there's grass and like debris. So I mean, as far as monster hiding places goes, I think that Loch Ness is probably the place you want to be if you're
a monster.
You're a monster and you're trying to hide it. I'd get on the phone to Nessie. It's huge, you know, it's deep, and you can only see a few metres down. So.
Really? How deep do you think it would normally be? Like,
I just told you, it reaches depths of 778 feet. 778 feet? That's insane.
Aye.
And you can only see a couple of metres down.
Sack that. Imagine falling in that. Like,
Well,
think of all the stuff under it that you'd actually get trapped.
Oh, I don't know.
I just wouldn't even think about that. That's horrible.
Also, very interesting to note that Loch Ness actually sits on a fault line called the Great Glen Fault Line. Which, if you know anything about fault lines, it's said that, you know, like where fault lines cross and like along fault lines is where like more supernatural and paranormal reports are like
found.
And like people see more ghosts, they see a lot of cryptids along fault lines,
right.
Which I found that really interesting. I actually had no idea that there even was a fault line.
Something like that.
I thought that was really interesting. There's a thing as well with like running water. If there's like running water over some sort of like limestone or something like that, it's like causes a fluctuation of like paranormal experiences. I don't know, but I just thought that was really interesting that it was on a fault line.
Yeah.
So a lot of the lore and the stories about Nessie are based on sightings, and obviously in more modern times photographs and videos are available. I would just like to put out there that a lot of these sightings have been discredited or explained, which obviously is a shame because, you know, it's nice to think that there's a
monster there,
happy monster chilling in the water, but nonetheless, I am going to take you through some of the sightings that sparked the legend that we now know as the Loch Ness Monster, and some of the things that have been done to try and prove she exists. Now, I say she.
How do they know it's a she?
Right, I say she. I don't want to assume pronouns, but when you hear people talk about it, they always say she.
Loch Ness. Yeah.
So I'm just going to say Nessie. Or
although
she.
Nessie is kind of like a girl's name.
I'm just going to say Nessie.
That is a girl's name in Scotland.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just going to say Nessie, right?
I like Nessie. Nessie's cute. Although we're talking about spooky, but hey.
It's kind of cute though, but again, it goes back to those little green plushies that are like, they kind of look like dinosaurs. They kind of look like Yoshi.
Yeah.
From Mario.
Yeah.
It goes back to that, so it's like you just think of this cute
wee thing.
I know, that's what I think of anyway. The first sighting of any kind of sea monster in the loch actually goes back to ancient times. There was a civilization known as the Picts who inhabited what is now known as eastern and northern Scotland. There are a few Pictish legends which speak of a beast living in a nearby loch. You can actually see carvings of what could be perceived as a sea monster in some of the carvings done by the Picts. The photos of those carvings will be up on our Instagram, so go check them out and let us know what you think they look like. I personally think one of them looks like a serpent-like animal, and the other, honestly, to me, looks like a duck with 4 legs.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I'm just going to pull them up for Shannon to look at. But I think like one of them kind of looks like a snake, right? Which
I don't like snakes. Snakes creep the shit out of me. They have no arms and no legs. I don't get that.
Shannon has a snake phobia. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't like it. I get shivers thinking about it.
So one looks like a serpenty type beast, which sometimes Nessie is said to look like that.
It looks like some of them are like a seahorse.
I didn't even think of that.
That
looks like a seahorse.
And then that comes for that film that came out.
Oh, the water horse.
The water horse. It was more based on that.
Aye, there's a film here in Scotland called The Water. It's not here in Scotland. I'm talking about it's national. It's called The Water Horse. It's super cute.
It is a good story.
It's about a wee boy who finds an egg on the beach.
And he takes it home.
And he takes it home, looks after it, and lo and behold, a monster comes
Nessie.
out. Well, I don't know if it's meant to be Nessie.
What is it called? I'm going to go.
It's called The Water Horse.
What is the horse called in the water horse?
It's not got a name, it's just called The Water Horse. And the characters in the movie are actually Scottish, so, I mean, it probably is based on Nessie, but, you know. Oh, it is. It is based on Loch Ness.
Yep, Lake Monster.
Right, okay, I do apologise. It is based on the Loch Ness Monster. But it's a really good movie, go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very heartwarming story.
It's a Sunday film.
Yes, it's a Sunday movie.
Get that on the sofa on the couch, as we call it, with your popcorn, and your telly, and your comfy zone, and that's how you're sorted.
So I think it's pretty cool that even back in early medieval times, people were kind of having the same experiences, and they kind of have the same myths and legends that we have today.
Right now.
And we've kind of carried that on like throughout time, and I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first sighting of Nessie that was put down on paper actually came in 565 AD.
What?
Mm-hmm. By a missionary, St. Columba. He was said to be staying in the land of the Picts when he encountered some of the local residents burying a man on the banks of the River Ness. So the River Ness is kind of like a river that kind of branches off the loch.
Uh-huh.
There is a lot of different rivers that branch off the loch, canals and stuff like that. So he seen this and he was like, what's going on over there? So when he asked why they were burying this man, they explained that the man had been swimming in the loch when he was attacked by what they called a water beast, which mauled the man and pulled him under the water. St. Columba, by some miracle, manages to revive the man and sent one of his friends across the loch to retrieve a boat so they could like get back to shore. When the man got into the water and started splashing around, this pissed off the water beast.
Oh, come on.
And it emerged from the water to attack him. St. Columba approached the shore, making the sign of the cross, and said, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." The beast stopped and fled as if it had been pulled back with ropes. So that's a story that was in a book. This story has a few red flags to me. Bear in mind, it was 565 AD. But this St. Columba guy...
Just came out of nowhere.
Okay, right, first red flag. Brings a guy back to life and nobody
Questions him.
questions that or says, wow,
How'd you
that
do
man just brought him back to life. Everyone just carries on
That's normal.
as if that's completely normal. Okay? Well, saying that... Well, never mind. I'm not
We're
going
not
to...
gonna
I was
do
going to
that
talk
right
about... I was going to talk about the Bible, but never mind.
Oh, don't.
He then tells someone to swim across the loch in which that man had just been mauled. So he says, oh, go across there where that water beast is and get a boat. Completely irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
And he then goes on to scare this beast with the word of God and the sign of a cross. I wasn't aware that Nessie was God-feeding.
I know, like, oh, sorry, God, I can do that today.
And it's just like this, when someone or something is scared of the word of God or the sign of the cross, it's usually demonic, or it's
it's not that.
And I just find that so weird. It's like...
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's like Nessie's... She's portrayed as like this
evil
demon that like killed people. It's just so fucking weird. But
there's never been any like actual... Has there been death?
you've literally just took the words right out of my mouth, Shan. I was about to say also, like, when I've been researching this, and listen, I spent days researching, weeks.
I know. I've been waiting to do this for days.
And I could not find one report of someone being attacked on the loch, or, you know, by anything on the loch, like even a fish or like a big whatever. I couldn't find any reports like anybody being attacked by anything. So, I mean, that story's like, I don't know, let's just say it's bullshit, but, you know, whatever. I just thought that was so funny. It was like, what?
You're like, what the hell?
So we then go on to 1933, where there were 2 sightings of the monster, which were published in local newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
The first was in May by a couple taking a drive, and they claimed to have seen some enormous animal rolling and plunging on the surface of the loch. The second was in July by Mr. and Mrs. Spicer, who were also taking a little romantic drive. But this time they claimed to have seen the beast cross the road in front of their car, get into the loch and disappear. At that time there was a road adjacent to the loch with an unobstructed view, so, I mean, take that for what you will. They described the beast as having a huge body, wait, with no limbs and a long neck. If it had no limbs, how the fuck did it get out of the loch in the first place? And how does it swim? It doesn't have any limbs.
But eels don't either, do they?
Right, okay, but when have you ever seen an eel get out of the water?
Aye, true. I wouldn't be able to. They can't survive it before.
No, what I'm saying, she says that it didn't have any limbs, so it was just an oval with a neck.
So June.
How did it get out of the loch? How does it swim?
I know, unless it's in the shuffle on
Look,
the road.
I'm not saying these people are lying. All I'm saying is that is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And when I think of the image of that beast, very, very, very strange. So as I said, both of these were reported and published in a local newspaper, which then made it into the national newspapers, and this is what kind of kicked off somewhat of a media frenzy. The loch was swamped with tourists and journalists trying to catch a glimpse of the famous Loch Ness Monster. There was even a £20,000 reward offered to anyone who could capture it and bring it to shore. So as always in true human fashion, when something is out there that we don't understand, let's put a reward and get someone to go out and kill it and bring it back.
Like the arseholes they are.
And we'll study it.
Just let it be free. Like, leave it alone. If he's out there, what's it fucking doing to use? Nothing.
So through all of the media attention and word of mouth, big-time game hunter by the name of Marmaduke Wetherell visited the loch in 1933 with hopes of finding Nessie and hanging her on his wall. Piece of shit. All he managed to find was a suspicious footprint on the shore, which a cast was then made of and sent off to the Museum of Natural History for analysis. Turns out the footprint was a hoax. Marmaduke had made the footprint using an umbrella stand with a hippopotamus foot on the bottom of it.
Are you joking?
No, so like...
That's ridiculous.
So you see like those umbrella stands you get that like... Sometimes they'll have...
They come out like that.
You know how it's like... It's literally just like a wee circle and you put your umbrella in it. When you go into the house you just put your umbrella in it because it's wet. But this time it must have been like a thing to have like taxidermy on them. So this one had like a hippopotamus hoof on the bottom. So you just took that to the shore and like... stuck it in the sand.
What an idiot. What people do for a bit in the news, eh?
I know. Then in 1934 we have the most famous photograph of Nessie. If you Google the Loch Ness Monster, this is the first photograph that is probably going to come up, and it is the most famous one. It's more famously known as the surgeon's photo. It was called that because it was distributed by well-respected Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson. The photograph shows a creature with a long neck and a small head sitting in the water.
It looked quite faint. Yeah, I've seen that.
It was published in the Daily Mail, and this obviously just added to the mystery. Everybody's like, oh my god, what is this? You know. More and more people would flock to the loch trying to catch a glimpse or record evidence of this creature. When you talk about the Loch Ness Monster, most people picture a plesiosaurus, like that dinosaur with the...
Yeah.
This is the photo. This is the reason why people think that. This photo. Because obviously in the photo it's just the way that it looked. So people began to speculate that the monster could be a prehistoric animal living in the depths. Personally, when I see the photo, my mind automatically thinks that object is really small.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it just looks like really...
Unless it's zoomed in.
We see, it just looks really small to me. And I think it's because there's nothing else in the photo to reference it against.
Yeah,
so there's there's no shoreline, there's no trees, there's nothing to reference it against. But I don't know why, just in my mind when I see it, I automatically think, oh, that's really small.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Unfortunately, this photograph would then go on to be deemed a hoax in 1994, the year I was born.
Oh.
A man named Christopher Spurling, who was the stepson of Marmaduke Wetherell, the guy with the hippopotamus thing.
Of course he was.
He came forward and admitted he was involved in the production of this photograph. His stepfather, obviously humiliated from being branded a fraud, asked Spurling to help him create a model of the monster. This consisted of a moulded neck and head mounted on a toy submarine. They then took the photo on the banks of Loch Ness and passed it to the respected Dr. Robert Wilson, thinking that his reputation was so pristine that the photo would have to be taken seriously if it was somebody like that was passing it around. But even though this was discredited, the sightings did not slow down, and people continued to believe that something was out there in the water. Due to the volumes of sightings and reports, the loch has been searched several times over the last 8 years.
And I found nothing.
Well, see, nothing a note because we would know about it, but...
Yeah. But there could have been something they're just no telling us.
So see, this is actually one, me and my dad have been talking about this quite a lot, because obviously I've been looking into it a lot and, you know, finding out a lot of facts and information that I kind of tell my dad, and this is the reason why he doesn't believe in the Loch Ness Monster, because he's actually been to the Loch twice, and he always says they've done like sonar sweeps and they've done like searches and they haven't found anything. So that's why my dad doesn't believe in it, because he says if there was something in there, they would have caught it, which
I believe.
But you know, I'm not an expert.
You never know.
I'm not an expert on like
under the water.
Well, I'm not a marine biologist, so I don't know what could be living there. I don't know any of that. So, you know, it's nice to believe in something. The largest of these searches was in 1986, and it was called Operation Deep Scan.
Oh, that sounds funky.
The estimated cost of this plan was around £1 million. So they spent £1 million looking for the Loch Ness Monster.
That's madness. And they found nothing.
Well,
they just gave me that money.
I'm about to tell you. A man named Adrian Shine, who was a marine biologist and the leader of the Loch Ness project, teamed up with Darryl Lawrence, who was the head of Lawrence Electronics. His company had been trying out new sonar equipment, and he thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to test it out. In October 1986, the trials began. 10 boats fitted with Lawrence X-16 sonar units were used. These units had a range of 1,300 feet and could locate objects as small as 1 feet and objects just 1 inch apart. So really,
they would have picked something up.
Really, they would, yeah, if there was something there, they would have picked it up. So these boats set out on the first day from the New Clansman Hotel onto the loch and formed a straight line, like the width of the loch, so right across.
Yeah.
From one side to the other, to make sure that every inch was scanned. Unfortunately, as we are aware, the weather here in Scotland can be very unpredictable, and sometimes it can be wild.
Yeah, like really wild.
So like,
you've no understanding.
My mum will come in sometimes and she'll go, it's wild out there. It just means
blowing a gale.
It's blowing a gale, or it just means it's really windy and rainy.
But we always
it's wild.
It.
They weren't able to capture anything due to the weather, and the whole operation was then put on hold that year and would be followed up the following year. So in October 1987, they went ahead with the Operation Deep Scan, hoping they would be able to capture something this time around. This was said to be the biggest sonar sweep of any freshwater loch anywhere in the world.
Really?
Really.
Fuck's sake. Sorry for my language, but jeez, that's mad.
So once again, they set out from the New Clansman Hotel, creating that straight line right across the width of the loch. The loch was also surrounded by spectators who had come to watch this massive event. Over 250 newspaper reporters and 20 television crews from across the world were among them. It was somewhat of a media frenzy, but I think nowadays, if we seen on the news that they were going to do like a massive sweep like that somewhere,
everybody would be there.
We would go.
Yeah, I would want to go. 100%. I'll deep sea. Let me in the water.
You'll deep sea?
I'll find it. I'll dive deep sea.
So before the sweep began, the head of the operation, Adrian Shine, he had a little pep talk with the whole team and everyone involved, some of who had volunteered. He asked all of them to do it for all the maligned eyewitnesses who look to you for vindication.
What's
so freaking inspiring.
What's vindication?
So basically, see, it's just went right out of my head now.
Sorry.
Basically, like, see the people that were saying that they'd seen it. He's just saying prove it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. I get you.
That's just so inspiring, honestly.
Oh.
So all of these boats go out onto the loch. There were a few technical hitches at the start, but these were quickly resolved.
Yeah.
On the first day, they recorded 3 strong sonar contacts from 256 feet
down
to 590 feet. So it's like in between those depths.
Right.
It was picked up on sonar at 570 feet, and it was recorded for 140 seconds.
Wow.
Which, this is actually larger than what would normally be expected in a freshwater loch. So when they went back to the New Clansman Hotel to reveal their findings and debrief David Steensland of Lawrence Electronics, He stated that the 256 feet target could have been a large fish that was already known to be living in the loch, but it would be very unlikely at that depth.
Yeah, that is quite far down.
He could not explain the other two targets. He claimed they were very strange and larger than those he had picked up from sharks off the coast of Florida.
Imagine it was their babies, and there's actually more than one wee Loch Ness out there.
Loch Ness? There's one wee million Loch Ness out there. Do you know Loch Ness Monster?
Aye, but another one, they're babies. So she's got babies?
Maybe. So in fact, all of these targets, they were bigger than a shark, but they were smaller than a whale.
What?
Mhm.
What?
So what could that be?
I know.
So day 2 of the boats started from Fort Augustus, but there was nothing significant recorded that day. The site where the previous 3 targets had been picked up were also searched again to
See if there's anything back.
see if they could find anything again, but they had nothing to show for it, meaning that whatever they picked up there was able to move, and it wasn't a fixed object like a rock or a piece of debris or a tree that had fallen in, because it wasn't there the next day, so it moved.
Right, okay.
Obviously was alive.
Mhm.
Which is very strange, very strange.
And it's off. It's off skis. Then the B1.
The B1.
He doesn't want caught.
So when the operation came to a close and all of the media were briefed, everyone was very disappointed that the Loch Ness Monster hadn't been captured. Everyone kind of dispersed, thinking that the operation was a fail. But, I mean, I don't think it was a fail, because the purpose of the operation was to find out if anything large was living in that loch, and it did exactly that. So,
there is something. But what?
Exactly. So, we don't know what it was, but it was still recorded. So, in my eyes, it was a success.
Steph, why don't we just go to the Loch Ness, the loch, and just find it ourselves? It's there, so why don't we just fucking find it?
Okay. Please tell me how. First of all, none of us drive, okay? So it's going to take us a couple of days to travel to Loch Ness. Then we get to Loch Ness. How are we supposed to get onto the loch?
I'll build a raft. Everything else will just come together. You know what, Will? I'll be fine.
Oh my god. Honestly, you're so inspiring, Jan.
Oh, why no? Gotta love a little. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yes, here we go. We're going to go and find the Loch Ness.
We'll take you guys with us, and
we'll
just
vlog you. Like, oh, look at me, deep sea diving. Deep sea like diving.
Right, okay, so this is a funny one, right? I also read this somewhere. I don't know how much of this is true, but anyway, I thought it was funny. They actually planned to take trained dolphins from America and put them into the loch to find Nessie, but it was scrapped because they were trying to acclimatise, obviously, the dolphins to the temperature of the water.
Would that not kill the dolphins?
Well, one of the dolphins died.
Oh, poor dolphin, rest in peace, honey.
Because of how cold the water was. So,
aye, 'cause it's freezing.
I'm sorry, but
nobody knows that.
It sounds as if that sounds like something out of a cartoon.
I know, that's how. Surely that wasn't real. Did they actually take a dolphin for America and put it in the water?
I looked and it said that.
How did they get that poor dolphin flew?
No, they acclimatised them, so they could have done that in America.
All right, okay, so they've just put the water to
but
that
one of them died, so they kind of scrapped it. But like, I just picture these dolphins with like wee cameras. It literally just sounds like something straight out of a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Something like a shark tail.
Scooby-Doo. It sounds like Scooby-Doo to me. That's so funny. So there have been other sonar explorations on the loch, but none of them have come up with any hardcore evidence that something prehistoric or monstrous is living in there, which is kind of sad. But I mean, let's be honest, I don't really believe that there's a dinosaur living in the loch.
I know.
I think.
Well,
we'll keep our like theories,
beliefs
till
and
the
shit
end.
to ourselves.
No, we'll keep that to the end. Our theories, right? Regardless of this, there continue to be sightings of Nessie to this very day. I seriously looked at all of the reported sightings, and there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You could literally sit and read these for days and days and days. So they're more or less all the same. I kind of went through them to try and see if I could find any that were kind of like strange or unusual. But most of them are just seeing an object surface in the water, swim around for a while, and then
And
kind of
disappear.
disappear. There's nothing that's like, oh, like really
Or
out
it's
there.
come up to the shore and anything like that.
There's nothing really like that. There are alleged photographs, some of which I've put up on our Instagram for you guys to go check out. These are the ones that I think, well, one of them is the surgeon's photo, which we know is fake, but the other ones, if they're real, then they're pretty impressive.
Because how would you have got that
Because,
on camera? Like, how would you think, oh yeah, hold on a minute, I've just seen that and I'm going to get my camera out and get that on camera?
no, they could 100% be fake, they could be Photoshopped, but if they're real, then
Yeah.
they're really impressive.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that they're real. Like, I don't like to think of people just standing out in the loch going, oh, let me take a picture of that piece of water and then I'm going to Photoshop
Something in.
a fin. I just think that, why would you do that? That's so fucking weird.
Yeah. Dick, basically.
Nessie, she's also appeared in several TV programmes, movies, as we just said, The Water Horse.
Uh-huh.
She's in a lot of stuff. She's kind of like an icon
For Scotland,
for Scotland.
basically.
She's up there with the shortbread and the kilts.
Oh, yes.
My personal favourite being Scooby-Doo. She was in an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, is she?
For those of you who don't know me, I am absolutely obsessed with Scooby-Doo. My goal in life is to have a mystery machine and a large dog called Scoob
I would be Velma.
that talks to me. No, you would be Shaggy. 100.
Shaggy, no.
100%. But obviously in Scooby-Doo, as always, it's always revealed that it's the mask gets taken off and it's not. So in Scooby-Doo, Nessie is actually a massive robot that swims through the water. So that was kind of, disheartening. But, nonetheless, I love Scooby-Doo. It's estimated that the Loch Ness Monster has contributed almost £80 million to the Scottish economy in the early 21st century.
Because of all the tourist attractions, everybody's wanting to come see everything.
Well, there are boat tours, there's merchandise, and there's all those gimmicky stores and pubs that are themed around it.
Yeah.
Even here in Glasgow, we live in Glasgow, so we live nowhere near Loch Ness. We live absolutely nowhere. We're in the city. And you get these shops that pop up here now and again, and it's like when you walk past them, they're playing bagpipes, and they sell shortbread, and they sell kilts. It's like all those
It's
fucking...
like calendars and like postcards, the usual, like,
It's all those
souvenir shops.
stereotypical things that you associate with being Scottish. They sell Loch Ness Monster stuff, and we're not. That's not even
Anywhere near us.
We're nowhere near the loch. So, I mean, I can believe that's how much. That's crazy though. But then it begs the question: if it's bringing in that much to the economy, then people probably don't want it to be proved to be a fake.
A fake, because it is still bringing in.
So they're probably just making these sightings up just to keep it
Keep
fresh.
it alive. 'Cause it is like every few years you hear like, oh, here's been a sighting. So it does stay in the media.
And there's always a photo. There was one earlier on this year, and it was a photograph that I've put. It's up on our Instagram. But I don't know. It looks pretty. I know what I think it looks like.
Right.
But it's impressive. But it made the news like everywhere. It made the news in America. It made the news in Australia.
Because it is nationwide. Like, it's not just in Scotland. Like, everybody knows. Well,
The Loch
most
Ness
people
Monster.
know about the Loch Ness Monster.
So I think that's why it contributes so much to the economy, because people come here because it's on the news.
Yeah.
But that's really that's the meat of the Loch Ness Monster. I could have said a lot more. I could have spoke about a lot more of the sightings, but again, as I said, they're just the same thing over and over again. But that's kind of like the big things that have happened in the loch. So, theories. Do we have a theory, Shannon? Do you think you know?
I think it is some form of prehistoric dinosaur type animal.
Oh, you're on the dinosaur bandwagon.
I'm going there because I fucking love dinosaurs.
Okay.
Like movies, shit like that, everything to do with that.
Okay.
Jurassic Park. Oh my god. Loved it.
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time. Loved that as a Wayne. Oh my god. And
There's a Loch
Jurassic
Ness
World.
Monster in
Land Before
in
Time.
Land Before Time.
I know. That's why I loved it as a child. And no, I think there was something. Don't know if there is still something now, but I definitely do think there was something years ago, and maybe not. It's not been picked up as a proper photo. But there's got to be. There can't be this much hype over nothing, and things like there's carvings on walls.
Yep.
It goes back to that far.
Well, you see, right, so my theories are, right, so we have sturgeons here, as we just were talking about Nicholas.
How coincidental.
We do have sturgeons here in Scotland, which are like these really big fish, but they look really mean. Like they've kind of got like, it looks like armor on their backs. They've got big spikes and
Oh, do
stuff.
they?
And when people report sightings of them, sightings of Nessie, that's kind of what they say. Like it's like
Got spikes in its back.
but these can grow up to 8 meters long. That's big for a fish.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no evidence to say that there's any sturgeons living in the loch. But I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Another thing that I would like to mention is in 2018 there was a DNA survey conducted on the loch.
Right.
This was to determine what organisms were living in the water there. There were no large animals found. No dinosaurs, sorry Shan. But there was indications that several eels were present. This is, when I read this, right?
Is that not normal for a lake?
But it's a loch. There's so it would be really difficult for something to swim up into the loch.
Yeah.
So anything that's in there has been in there since the loch was kind of
started.
But the eel thing, that interested me because me and my brother talk about sea life all the time. I know, weird, but sea eels, they are humongous.
Yeah, they can go huge.
When side story, when I went to the aquarium in Palmanova, there was moray eels, and they were humongous, and they just sit and stare. And like I was with my friend Gemma, and she was like, "Oh no, I don't like them. I don't like them," because they were just like creepy. Like,
oh, they'll just look at you.
They just like hang out of the rock, and
no.
they just stare. But they're lethal. Like they've got I think the moray eels get 2 jaws.
What? 2?
Like, like they're really really big. But eels can actually, they can grow, like people don't know how big they grow because they sit in the rock.
Yeah.
So, but when I looked at that photo that I was just talking about that was taken this year, and then I looked at an eel, the patterns on
the eel,
the thing that's pictured in the photograph, is the exact same as a moray eel.
Oh.
It's like when I showed it to my dad, he says it looked like a seal, like you know how leopard seals have like the dot, the print, but I mean, tell me that doesn't look like an eel.
Let me see.
Hold on a wee smirk.
Is that an eel?
Well, no, someone took that photograph and said, right, again, I know I keep saying this, but if you want to see the photos,
well,
please.
Well, that kind of looks like a seal's head.
There's no seals. There's no seals in Loch Ness.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It looks like, see, like the shape of a seal's head, but then it looks like a tyre as well. Like, see if you look.
Yep.
But then that one's too looped for that one to be. Do you know what I mean?
If you look at that, right, so it's kind of like that, and then this is the photo that was taken earlier on in the year. It's kind of the same.
But that looks like a huge cat. Is it not a cat? It's not a catfish. Is it a catfish?
I don't know. I don't really know what you're.
No, I don't think it is a catfish. There's a big, massive fucking fish that you can catch when you're fishing in Scotland, and it's massive. I don't know if it's
a trout.
It's not a trout. Is that a tuna fish?
You can't catch tuna in Scotland, Shannon.
No tuna.
Tuna live in the ocean.
It's not a tuna then. It's that thing I said.
Is it a sturgeon? You think that's a sturgeon?
No, Nicola's not in the water.
She's keeping the heat up in Edinburgh.
Don't worry, Nicola, we're keeping the heat with you.
Jesus Christ.
But it looks like a tiger shark without a fin. Without fins.
It's very strange.
I don't get that.
But the eel thing,
I get that.
100%. If I really, I don't know, I believe that there's something in the loch that's bigger than a fish, because people wouldn't keep seeing things out of the ordinary if there was nothing there.
But how is it still alive?
Because there is fish that live in the loch that it could survive on, but it's
for those years. What year did you say that was? Like 560 odd?
I know, but it's as well, like obviously there has to be.
I've not got corona. I'm just coughing.
There has to be like a population, you know, for mating and stuff like that. Plus, eels live in the rocks, so you wouldn't see it.
Aye.
Because they kind of hide in the rocks, and then if for whatever reason it just came up to the surface one day, and that's what people are seeing when it comes up to the surface.
That was huge though. You need to go and check that out, guys, because that is absolutely massive.
So I really, if I was to go with a theory here, I'm going to say the eel is like the most plausible.
I think looking at that now, yeah, I'd go with that.
The eel is more plausible, but
you never know.
You never know. Plus, there's another theory that's like it's like floating trees and debris that people are seeing, but that's just ridiculous because it's like
You can tell a tree a fucking animal.
No, but it wouldn't float to the surface and move. It would just float.
Yeah, it would sit there.
It was strange. So I think that the floating trees and the debris is absolute bullshit. That's not... That's just stupid. But then look at that eel, right? Now that's exactly what that looks like.
The top one, aye.
It's like that. God, it's like that leopardy kind. It kind of looks like it's got spots, but 100%, I would totally believe that there was a massive eel in there that maybe just comes up to the surface now and again for whatever reason.
It's just an abnormal size, but I'd probably.
But
we'll see.
You never know. Maybe in
20
years' time when we're old and when we're sitting, maybe not 20.
But I'll not be old in 20
maybe
years.
not 20. I was just thinking 20 years' time.
I'll only be 44. Like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe when we're like old and we're sitting in our rocking chairs on our porch,
knitting on
our
grandkids' guardians,
with our Highland cows in the field next to us, and our little grandkids, they'll be like, Nana, did you know that the Loch Ness Monster? And I'll say, I'll tell you a tale about the Loch Ness Monster.
Try to hear me and your auntie's tale. We were sitting in a wee cupboard recording this. Let me tell you a story about my time, hen.
That's so funny, but I don't know. I think there could be something in there, but I feel like if there was, it would have been picked up by now. But again, I'm just going to go with the eel thing. I think it's an eel.
I think I'll go with that now. Even though I do love dinosaurs.
Even though I love the mystery, I love the story, but...
It is still a mystery because we still don't know what it is. No one knows it is.
We will go to Loch Ness and we will vlog it and we will show you guys
what we find.
We will not rest until we find the Loch Ness Monster.
And we're not joking. If you don't know me and you don't know Steph, you don't know us, Han.
Well, yeah, that makes sense then. Well, that's it, guys. That's Loch Ness Monster. And I am 100% so happy that I never have to talk about this again.
Woohoo!
Honestly, it's strange because see, going into it, I was like, right, if we're going to do if we're going to do Scottish, we need to do the Loch Ness Monster. And I was like, this is going to take forever. Like, there's going to be so much research, there's going to be so many stories, and there really isn't.
No.
It's more eyewitness testimony and like sightings, and obviously there's a few photographs, but
what's fiction and non-fiction.
You can't tell what's a real photograph and what's not a real photograph. No. But that's the Loch Ness Monster. Were you happy with that?
I was happy with that. Are you happy with that?
Did you learn something?
I did.
What did you learn?
That Loch Ness isn't a fucking dinosaur. And that I've been living a lie my full life. I've
been living a lie, guys.
It's a fucking sin.
Right. Also, I'd like to apologise for the creaky chair on the other side of the table because she's got a creaky chair. And I can't sit in this one bit. I'm too fidgety. I like to move around. She's very fidgety and she's had a corona, so... Oh, yeah. So, if any of you guys have visited Loch and experienced anything unusual, please email us at scottishandscared@gmail.com with your story. Even if it isn't necessarily related, it could be just something that you've experienced at Loch Ness. We would really appreciate that. We love reading stories and we'd be really interested to read them. Also, guys, go follow us on Instagram at scottishandscaredpod. We'd really appreciate that. And hopefully you guys stick around for the next episode, which is gonna be even more spooky. Even though this wasn't even spooky, but I don't think this is that spooky. No, but the next ones aren't gonna be, because if I know what you're like and I don't know what's coming up, it's gonna be good. Okay. So you need to tune in. Well, maybe not hype it up that much in case it's not. Well, clearly it is gonna be. It's us, of course. Right, guys. Well, that's us. Hopefully we see you next week. Thank you. Stay weird. Stay scared. Bye, guys. Bye. Keep